Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us here for the 3 p.m. streaming hour on Fox Local. I'm Tom Haines. Want to start right off the top with breaking news and live pictures from the White House, where we're getting word this afternoon that 2 National Guard members have been shot in Washington, D.C. This unfolding right near the White House, we understand. The Metropolitan Police Department is on the scene, happening, if you're familiar with the Washington, D.C. area, 17th and I Street in the Farragut Square area, which is in close proximity to the White House grounds. The D.C. police have tweeted this is a critical incident and that they are on the scene of a shooting, as I said, at 17th and I. To avoid the area if you can. Now, I've seen some live pictures coming out of that area. We're working on bringing those in, and as soon as we get them, we will put them up. But this is what I can show you right now from one of the tower cameras in Washington, D.C., and you can see the police activity there on the ground. Again, reports this afternoon that 2 National Guard members have been shot in the District of Columbia. You know, the National Guard have been on the scene there for months, patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C. President Trump has said that it's cut down drastically on crime in that area, something that's been validated by recent statistics. I was just up in the nation's capital a few weeks ago, and you see their presence. They walk in groups of 3 around the District of Columbia, and they are all over the place. Kind of a reassuring sight. Nice to see out there. But with these reports on the day before Thanksgiving, we have news that 2 National Guard soldiers were shot near the White House. Their conditions are not known at this hour, according to law enforcement officials. But this is what we know right now, and these are the live pictures that we're getting into the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Of course, this is a story that we're going to continue to stay on top of here, and as soon as information comes in or we get live pictures from the ground, we will bring them to you. We have a Fox affiliate in Washington, D.C. That we're working to get information from as well. So that is the White House right there. You can see just off in the distance there, to give you an idea of exactly how close this is all unfolding to the executive mansion. I'm going to take you back live to Washington, D.C. now, where we are on top of breaking news for you this afternoon. This is from our Fox 5 affiliate on the ground there, live reporter getting ready to go on air in that local market, but with news that 2 National Guard members have been shot right near the White House. These are live pictures that we're getting in from one of the tower cameras, and it panned up just a second ago, and you could see the roof of the White House there, not too far off in the distance. This is in the Farragut Square area. If you're familiar with the nation's capital at all, this is one of those kind of park areas that sits just near the White House. And I'm told by our managing editor and executive producer, Cal Calloway, that there is a suspect in custody. So that breaking just within the past few seconds. And there's the shot that I was talking about, the camera panning out to show you just how close this is all unfolding at the White House. The National Guard has been quite a presence in the nation's capital for the past several months. It's part of President Trump's initiative to keep cities safe. He began with the nation's capital, deploying the National Guard there. Even Governor Brian Kemp offering up Georgia National Guard troops to supplement and augment that effort up there in the nation's capital. As I told you just a second ago, I was just up there a matter of weeks ago and saw for myself these National Guard troops walking the streets of our nation's capital, and they are a sight to see up there. For many, a sight of reassurance that the city is being kept safe by that national presence. So we'll continue to stay on top of the situation. The suspect that was apprehended within the past few moments, the conditions of those National Guard troops who are now being treated, one would presume, at local hospitals. If we could go back to that ground shot for just a second, it gives you sort of a perspective of what's happening there. The area taped off to pedestrians while this crime scene is worked, and the local fire rescue crews working to make sure that that scene is all clear. You can see some eyewitness accounts, folks talking to reporters there on the ground where this all happened, and just sort of working through the details as to how and why all of this unfolded. But some very disturbing news on this day before Thanksgiving out of our nation's capital this afternoon.